Hey guys, it's your boy Zader, or Xander, however you want to say it. I'm coming at you with a Minecraft video today, and it's going to be a guide on what to do when you first create your world. Now, as you can probably tell, we are not in the game already, and that's because I'm doing this for the PlayStation 4 users, which means there's actually one thing I do recommend in the options menu that I would suggest putting on due to the 1.13 update. The world, when it's being created, has become unbalanced, and it spawns a lot of ocean and not a lot of land on the first map most of the time. And so I recommend, well, you select whichever difficulty you play on, of course, survival, but because it's not as balanced as what they say, I usually check on the bonus chest, because if I spawn in an ocean or a desert, you're not gonna have the wood to survive for the first night. So you check that on biome style, medium, as it tends to get you the most biomes out of the like 47, I think, biomes in the game. Large, as you'll have plenty of room to build and explore. Of course, create the world. And the first thing you're going to want to do is at least get 3 pieces of wood and get you your crafting table and an axe and grind out your wood and sheep as fast as possible, as you want that bed. Now, while this is loading in, you will be seeing a lot more Minecraft content as I've gotten bored with Call of Duty. Like so. See, it spawned me on top of a tree. Like, how is this useful in any situation? But yeah, that's how the world generation is at times. You can't tell, and that's why I usually recommend to get the bonus chest, because that way you'll at least have some kind of supply at the beginning. Now, luckily for me, it did spawn me in a forest, and I do like the spruce logs, so this is perfect for me. But for others, it may not be so good. And it usually just gives you some food, a sapling, and some wood. So, I mean, it doesn't really help too much, but it still helps more than what most people think. And now we can do that. Pop this down, and we can already make ourselves that axe that I was telling you to get. But yeah, I tend to try and get about, I'd say, 20 to 32 pieces of wood, as that's usually enough to help build a small starter house, or get you some tools so you can get your stone for your furnace, and for your pickaxe so you can go mining for iron. This just gives you the best start that you can have in Minecraft, other than if you spawn near a village and you can live in that until you get all the supplies you need. But I normally recommend just doing this way and getting your iron, well, your wood, and then going after your sheep. Now, if you're probably going to be like this and there's not going to be that much sheep spawning, you're going to have a hard time, but normally that isn't a problem, as if you're lucky you can spawn in the plains or the oak forest or birch forest, and there usually is an abundance of sheep at those locations. It's just in spruce forests like this, it's hard to come by. And also, you can grab the berries for food. I don't usually recommend it due to how little food it, or how many ham bones it gives you. It gives you like 1.5 at times. But see, there's an abundance of cows, just no sheep. And that's the main issue with these kinds of biomes and the generation of the world in general. You can get very unlucky, which if you get unlucky, you're gonna have to do some exploring, which isn't so bad. It's just you don't get a lot of time, and that's a big downside, as you need all the time you can get to find a suitable place for you to live. And I mean, that's just one of the main problems with the PS4 version, is you can never get a good world generation. Like, look at all that. Oceans galore. That is the problem with worlds that generate like these. You can never, ever get the proper world generation for you to have a good survival game from the start. And there's a lot of wolves around here for a change. Usually I don't see that many, but this is new. But pretty much that's the basics. You just want to get your starter house done and get a bed as soon as possible, as if you don't get your bed, phantoms are going to come, and, well, they're these avian creatures, and they will probably kill you no matter what you do. And I would not recommend jumping off like that ever now because of the aquatic update, but usually if you play a lot of Minecraft, you know when and where you can and can't do that. I tend to do it when I'm left with no choice, like how I was, but as you can tell, I mean, there's hardly any sheep around here, and, well, it's about midday, which means I would only have 10 minutes to build a base or get to wherever I need to go, which is a very downside because you can't skip through the night, so you'll have to work through it, and when you go to work through the night, I mean, it can get a bit tense if you don't have your food set up already. Luckily for me, I had those apples from the beginning. Now, I'm playing like this just to try and give you a bit of a grasp of what to do in the beginning, but normally you would never see me do this without opening my map so I can have my locations, as I like knowing where everything is in the world. See, here's a sheep right here. The problem will be I have to find 2 others that's the exact same color, which is very slim. The only one that you get a chance of doing that with is the white sheep. Everything else are a lot harder to spawn in when it comes to sheep, and I wouldn't recommend trying to get the colored sheep. I would just recommend getting one of the flowers and dyeing your bed that way. Now, as you can see, I'm very unlucky today when it comes to sheep. I've explored plenty of this world and just none. But the basis is just gather your wood, get your starter base, and here's that bed that I was telling you about. Get that as soon as possible. Like so. You just make some planks, go over, get the bed, and you can actually skip through the first night if you lay in your bed right as soon as it gets dark, which does come in handy, and I'll openly admit that. Now, my normal tip, and this is going to be for anyone really, on any version of Minecraft, if you have a hill like this, use it. It is the best possible starter base you can ever get, especially if it's near water like this one is. Because that way, you can get your farm started, get some food going, or get a sugarcane farm going even. Which, getting a sugarcane farm going is probably going to be the most amazing friend you can ever have in this game, as that helps you out so much. I'm not even playing with how much it helps you out, as it can give you your paper to make more maps. It can give you paper to make books. It can give you a lot. And trust me when I say you're gonna need it for the long game, so best to start early on. I know a lot of people don't worry about it usually, or they tell you not to worry about it. But I'm telling you, the sooner you can get a sugarcane farm started, the better. And one pro tip is to never hit the bottom, just whack the top. And they usually the bottom two will stay. But as you can tell, I'm having bad luck today, so of course it's not always going to work. But that is pretty much the gist of it. You just want to prepare yourself and settle in for the first night or so. And I'm more interested on what's behind door number 1. Because this is inside of that hill, and this is massive. As you normally don't find these closed off. You normally find them with one area out in the open. So this is actually a really good thing to have, because you can actually get your farms this way. By placing your dirt and all that, you have a very effective farm. Now, one thing I do recommend is getting your door as fast as possible, because you're going to be in here for the long haul. And what that means is you're going to need your doors placed. You're going to need to get your furnace and get started on smelting some items. Like, for instance, I do the leftover door in the furnace and make some charcoal right away. It's not a bad idea, it's just one that I like doing, because when you do it that way, what it does is it gives you a whole lot more room, because you don't have to waste your coal on torches. You can actually use your coal for your food and resources. Well, that's about it for the guide, so I'll see you in